arms is hydration. So I'll use those for hydration, and then it's reach down for, like, that's real calorie dense, and put it back. So like I can get through an Ironman with 2 bottles of fuel, and the rest with hydration that way. And it declutters a lot of things. But you have to be adaptable, know what they're offering on the course. It's worthwhile to train with it, even if it seems like a bit of a pain. Yeah.
Thanks.
Total long-winded answer.
I also have a question. Are you loud?
Nice
Do you need a
meeting you,
microphone?
Luis.
Luis.
Have you experimented with your swimming, whether holding back or going fast? It's the same, you're gonna feel the same whether you hold back or go fast when
Yep.
you get out of the
Yep.
water.
Okay. As a swimmer, swimming background, my strength is my swim, right? So it's a weapon. And in a fight, you should probably pick out, probably choose your best weapon, right? Makes sense. Like, you need to deploy it for it to be effective. But to learn if it's going to be effective or not, what happens if you don't use it? What happens? Well, I need to race to find out. So I've done 3 races where I did not try in the swim. Honestly, it was like, just swim with the pack, sit on feet, take a beating, take your lumps, and then we'll try it. The race will start on the bike. Every time, I had to do it a couple times to figure it out because I didn't do it 3 times in a row. It was like, okay, maybe this race it'll be different and I'll try it here. So over the course of like 2 seasons. What I found was it took me out of what my natural predisposed mentality is for racing. And for me, I'm an aggressive racer. I'm not a passive racer. So the way I race is be aggressive, and that mindset starts in the swim. Luckily for me, a swim is a strength. So I'm able to get into the mindset with a strong swim. Mindset of the day is attack, be in the moment, be a part of this game. If it puts people in more stress, that's a bonus. Because what that does is, you look at anyone who's good at what they do. They put a lot of stress on the people that are around them, either to raise their game or take them out of their game. Whether it doesn't matter if you're talking about, like, you look at LeBron James on a bat. Oh, who's in Atlanta? They traded Joe Johnson. Okay. All right, I'll stop right there. You guys traded Joe Johnson. Anyway, so you take LeBron James. LeBron James makes everybody uncomfortable on a basketball court because he can play every position and guard every position, and he just makes you very uncomfortable. And the higher you get in sports and in business, the more competent and the more skills you have, you will be able to, deploy more skills, and you'll just have an answer for different questions. And for me, on the race course, through my training and preparation, when I've done it correctly, I have the answer every time. Sometimes I have the answer before the question's asked. And for me, that all starts with an aggressive swim, and that means pushing up front hard in the swim. And it has more to do with my mindset of my temperament than it does my skill set. And so that's where racing becomes more between the ears than it does in your muscles.
Question. You kind of mentioned in between your ears. What advice would you give for someone who's looking to step up to the next level, going from a sprint to an Olympic, to tackle that big difference in the swim?
Okay. When you're moving up in distances, okay, a couple things. The way I've approached a lot of my career, and when I talk to people, I don't, honestly, if you ask me a question, if it's an appropriate question, I will answer it with all of my knowledge and experience. I don't feel like there are secrets. There's just people who have experience and want to share it, or they don't have the experience so they can't share it, or if they have the experience and they don't want to share it, then they're just kind of a jerk. But I would prefer if when you step up in distance, and I've gone through the distances, I've found through my experiences, it's better to, what's today? Saturday? So in 5 days, we have the yearly holiday here in America, Thanksgiving. And if you overcook the turkey, there is nothing you can do to make it taste good that day. If you overcook it, there's nothing you can do. If you undercook your turkey and you go to eat it and it's undercooked and you're like, wow, this is a raw bird. I need to stick it back in the oven. You still got time. You can eat it a little bit later. Same thing in triathlon. If you overcook it and you go to race, you can't get it back. You're done. So I am advocating undercooking the turkey. Okay? I would undercook the turkey and use it as an experience. So hopefully you are in this for the long haul, and the long haul being your personal development. And that personal development needs experience and time. Both are finite, but if you move through the steps by undercooking it, you will learn more and more and be it's kind of like a sponge. You'll be able to accept the lesson versus trying to baste an overcooked turkey. It will not take the basting and it's done. Does that make sense? So, right. If you want to push the limits and things, I would say go back to what the race requires and work the engine and the system more than the actual sport. So there's a lot of transfer effects from biking and swimming that will help your running without the pounding. And I'm a big fan of try something new because your body will adapt and kind of confuse your body today and it'll adapt for tomorrow. You can do a lot of that, and then it will eventually translate into a stronger, more confident, and better you. Yeah. Yes?
Are you traveling internationally and participating in abroad events? Are you planning to?
I am planning
Can y'all
to.
all hear that?
Am I planning to travel abroad? I am planning to. I've raced on 5 continents, but I'll probably race in South America this upcoming year, and then in Europe in 2015. That is the plan.
Europe where?
Europe where? I don't know. I did hear good things about Norway for some reason. There's a few good races in Norway that I've heard were well done. And then I'd like to maybe see what Frankfurt has to offer. Or Roth. I've heard really good things about those races as well.
I'm kind of a hopeless cyclist, and I do not like doing bricks. Right? I know you got to do them to get ready for a race. I can't stand them. How often do you do a brick, and is it part of your weekly plan, or do you do it just 3 or 4 weeks out from the race?
Yeah. So how often do I do a brick, and is it part of my plan? It is very much a part of my plan. I couldn't tell you the last time I ran without riding my bike first. I do a bike run workout 6 days a week, and that is my morning workout. So I'll give you guys just a real quick snapshot of a random Tuesday, right? Random Tuesday, once working out starts. It's about a 2.5 hour bike ride, followed by a 50 to a 60-minute run. And then I do some core work, which is about 20 minutes worth of core, 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And then I stretch for about 15, 20 minutes. And that's morning workout. And then I go eat, go shower, and then eat. And then I go swim. And at swimming, I'll do some strength work with cords, stretch cords. Stretch, swim for about 1:15. And then just for fun, twice a week I will do pull-ups. Yeah, that's my plan. And my pull-ups, do you guys like pull-ups? Anybody like pull-ups? Yeah? Does anyone like push-ups? Okay, push-ups and pull-ups, right? they can be kind of a good test for you. For pull-ups, I will actually vary. I'll go chin up, pull up, right? I'll do both. One day, 3 days later. And what I'll do, my latest one is go to almost, it's like go to max, but not like full out max everything you've got, but just go do as many pull-ups as you can, right? So, do as many as you can. And then let's say you do 11. Then you get 30 seconds rest. Then you have to do half plus 1. So you got to do at least 6, if not 7. And you can't get off the bar until you do at least 6 or 7, right? And then you rest 30, and then you got to do negatives. And then you do 3 negatives where you try to jump up, put your chin over the bar again, and then shake and shut her down. Yeah, and then that's got to last 10 seconds. So that's my pull-up routine, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I do that twice a week.
Andy, thanks for being here. I read once that, I was wondering if it was marketing myself. Said that you don't ride on the road until race day or race week. In other words, that the vast majority of your training is done on the indoor trainer.
Totally true.
That is true? And what is the logic behind it? Can you share some insight?
All right, so I'm not the best cyclist in the world. I'm not the worst. I don't know everything, but with my experience, so I grew up following the black line swimming, right? Very repeatable, very dependable. And I've taken that mentality and I've applied it to the bike. So, like on the bike, I know I get it dialed in, I get it, it's a CompuTrainer, so I will calibrate it every day, and then I ride. There's no stop signs. I can't get discouraged in the wind to stop trying. Some days you are pedaling squares, but it's very dependable, very reliable. For a while there, it put my wife at ease when it comes to, my safety. I know that there are benefits on the road, but I think there are benefits on the indoors that are outweighing it at this point. And I need to learn more to be like it, because I've tried the ride 1 day a week outside. I've tried ride every other outside. I've tried ride all outside. And I've gravitated towards riding all inside. Number one, I really enjoy reading. I'll read like periodicals, not books because it'll ruin the book, but I'll read periodicals, and I can tell when I'm riding good because I can, like, if you ever try to read on a bike and the effort gets too hard, you'll shake, and it makes the words shake. So when I can ride and hold my head still and be calm and push over 300 watts, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm riding pretty decently right now. I'm ready to maybe dial up the intensity of training. So it's kind of like, it's an internal gauge for me, and I'll communicate that to my coach. And I will, to add on to that, my coach and I work a lot on work to rest ratios. So just like in swimming where let's say you're doing I'm just going to keep numbers real easy. Let's say you're doing a 500 freestyle, okay? And it's on, and it takes you 9 minutes to do it, okay? And you're doing 5 of them, and they're on 10 minutes. So that work to rest ratio is you're working 9 parts and resting 1, okay, out of the 10 minutes, right? And so it's 9-to-1 work to rest ratio. On running, a lot of runners will do 1-to-1, like 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 1-to-1 work to rest ratio. So, and the better you get, the more you need to increase your work ratio and shrink your rest ratio, okay? Or rest and work to create a wider ratio, right? So, biggest bang for my buck with the way that my wiring is like right around the 15-to-1 to 17-to-1 work to rest ratio. So that would be like, 500 free on 520 and you're going 510s. Okay? Something like that. Where your work to rest ratio is really shrunk down, but you got to keep putting it out there. 5 of them, 17 to 1. And if you're putting that out and you're getting it done, your heart rate is up, that translates to results. I mean, you adapt to that workload. It's very demanding, so you want to start in a manageable situation. But I'm just telling you, like, I can handle 15 to 1, 16 to 1, 17 to 1 work to rest ratio. I can handle it at a certain speed. And I've got great news for you guys. You can too. Everybody in this room can handle that. I guarantee you can handle it. It's just how much ground are you covering to accomplish that 15 to 1 work to rest ratio. Maybe I'm covering more ground, but we're still working off the same ratio. So you are able to get the positive effects of training. And what you're looking for and working for in training is to elicit a positive training effect, which is, muscle growth or a better transfer of O2 to your muscles, which is what they're demanding. Does that help? I hope so, because that's the key right there. That's the secret.
So you started talking about Thanksgiving turkey, and
Yes.
it just got me wondering, what is your favorite side dish for Thanksgiving?
Oh yes, side dish. So I love carbs, and it's that easy. It's really easy. It goes stuffing, number 1. Number 2, any kind of pie. Any kind of pie. If I could just eat stuffing and pie, I would. But I don't think my mom would let me.
Oh, go ahead.
Andy, when you talk about giving back to the sport, you referenced that some pros really get it, so I'm kind of curious as to what pros you admire. And then as a follow-up, do you train with any fellow pros for any of the other? Sounds like you don't on the bike, but maybe.
I rock it solo. I do a lot of things solo. I think I'm comfortable training by myself. So it's funny. When I think about training and training partners, I swim with a swim team called Colorado Springs Swim Team. And swimming, of the 3 sports, is the least social because you got your face in the water, you can't talk, right? It'll take you 2 hours to communicate a 5-minute conversation. Totally true, right? I need to swim with people. Don't know why. Can't talk to them, but I just like the fact that they're going, down to that side, turn around, come back, just like I am. Maybe we're doing it at different speeds. But, so I find that the least social activity, I want the most company. The most social activity, cycling, I want the least amount of company. I'm not normal. I think that's not normal. But, yeah, I train solo, and as far as other people I look at and respect, and I respect all my competitors, but when I look to people to emulate and to take lessons off of, I learn a few things from the people in our sport. Like Chrissy's taught me a few things, and I've certainly stolen a few pages out of her playbook. But I'll actually look at other sports for, we're a young sport in triathlon, and we have a lot of learning to do. I have a lot of learning to do. And I'll look at other people. Although he's younger than me, I've known him since he was 11, but Michael Phelps does a really good job for the sport of swimming. He really does. He's made some mistakes, but he's done a lot more good than any mistake he's made. So I'll look at Michael. Some runners, I'll look at runners. I think Ryan Hall and Dina Strawson, or now Castor, does a really nice job. Brian Clay does a good job. Don't really know